Earlier today, the SANDAG Board held a meeting to discuss 5 options for moving the train tracks off the Mar Bluffs. Here to share details about that meeting is Mar Deputy Mayor Teresa Gaasterland. Deputy Mayor, it is so good to see you. Thank you for being here.
It's great to be here, Teresa. Actually, it's Mayor this year. We rotate.
Yeah, this is wonderful. I want to start with our KUSI's reporter, Dan Plant, was live on top of our show talking about that meeting last night and today. And it was very powerful, impactful. It gave me the chills because hearing you speak, it was showing that you were really listening to the residents of Mar and the coastal communities. They were very upset moving forward with some plans and options without really looking at the environmental impact report. Tell us what happened this morning.
Okay, let's unpack what went on. And it's really been the last couple of weeks. We've been on a very steep downhill toward today. So first, what happened was when SANDAG released their agenda report for today's item, it had 2 surprises in it. One was the yellow line, the new yellow line that would wander hopefully around the lagoon and not through the lagoon over to I-5. That was not in this value analysis study that had gone on for the previous 6 months. It emerged from that study.
Did the residents know about that?
We learned about it for the first time on Monday, February 10th. And, we've been looking at it ever since then. The second surprise was double tracking on the bluff, the so-called green line, that had been studied by Caltrans in what was called a program EIR, a program environmental impact report and study. It was done both at the state level and the federal level back then and rejected. The double tracking was completely eliminated from further consideration by Caltrans. So seeing it in the agenda report for today's decision was a surprise. Now, the next surprise that happened was last night. The Coastal Commission sent a letter to every member of the board and basically said that they, in 2022, allowed the current bluff stabilization only because SANDAG had agreed we will relocate the railroad off the bluff. And they went a step further, and they said to double track on the bluff would actually contradict the California Coastal Act. And I wrote down this section 30253B, that says that you cannot do new development in a fragile coastal area like that would depend on protective devices. You just can't do that. So there were surprises, and then today happened.
All right, so with these 5 options, what do the residents of the coastal communities want?
Oh, there's such difficulties with all these options. So that yellow meandering line, if it can be done in a way that does not harm the lagoon, maybe that there's a solution there. But the residents want no freight underneath residential homes. Freight trains rumbling under homes with sandstone in between the tunnel and the house above, the bedroom above, is just something that strikes fear in people's hearts.
Yeah, there's many negative impacts as well. Just the property value, just environmental concerns, and just hearing from Dan's report too. One gentleman, he was asking the board, would you want freight trains running through your home, like underneath your home? And
not one of the board members nodded or said, sure. And that was a neighbor who lives in Del Mar Woods, right above the tracks right now. And his home actually would not have the tracks under the home. But this is the way Del Mar is. People care about each other and what each other is going to be experiencing and feeling. I live close enough to the tracks that when the freight trains go by at night, the pictures on my walls, they kind of shake and they get crooked. Imagine that beneath you, vibrating upward through sandstone.
So what is next? We're hearing that this report, this review could take years.
Well, what's next is an NOP, a notice of preparation. That's going to be released sometime in the next couple of months. Then there will be a public comment time period, 30 days the public will have to get in comments on that. This is all staff-driven at SANDAG. They will then revise their NOP and launch their environmental impact study. That study will happen, and it could be anywhere from 18 months to longer. The number I heard today was 30 months. So 3 years from now, a draft EIR gets released, that gets put out to public comment, and then all those comments get integrated into a final version. That final version, sometime later, would come back to the SANDAG Board for final approval. And that version would percolate upward what will become the so-called preferred alternative.
Okay, this is going to take years, but moving forward for the next meeting, will it be a private meeting with the board members, or will this be a public meeting?
No, the board will not be involved in this at all until that very final approval of the final environmental impact report.
Okay, well, we will have you back from the update. And again, Deputy Mayor, Mayor Terry Gaasterland, thank you so much for being here, and we appreciate you being there for the residents as well.
Today was really hard. It was really, really hard, but the environmental studies will hopefully tell us what we can do, what we can't do, and that will help inform what we will do.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Teresa.
Teresa.
Of course. Logan.
All right, Teresa, Mayor, thanks.